So, a very, very warm welcome to this call on EFT to help you through difficult times. It's so great to see your lovely faces. There are many people here that I know personally who have been to the classes. Welcome. And there are a few people that I've not yet met personally, and I welcome you too. For some of you, it's morning. For some of you, it's sort of mid afternoon. For some of you, it's late afternoon or evening. Wherever you are in your day, you may have had a busy one or a busy one is ahead. And I really am grateful for spending this time with us today. Thanks for being on time here. And if you are watching the recording, thank you also for spending this time helping humanity to calm down in these difficult times that we live in. And you're just so very welcome. So there's some really hard things going on in this room. I read some of the prep questions that people sent me ahead of time. There's some really hard things going on here for many people in this room. And so, of course, I want to make it as safe and soothing and comfortable and easy for us as possible to work through this together. So we're just going to do as much tapping as we can to get through it all. And there's different issues here, there's different needs in the room. So just make sure that you make yourself comfortable enough. I want you to take responsibility for your well-being. I'm going to say a few more things as I go along. So this whatever you brought and whatever it is that you're feeling in this room today, I want you to know that it's all welcome. And we may not be able to solve it all. We may not be able um, to change the circumstances that's in this room, but we for sure going to feel lighter at the end of it with some tapping. So let's just do a quick exercise to start feeling present with our full being in this room together. So you can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And just take a nice deep breath in. You can put your hand on your heart if you feel like it. So just take a nice deep breath in. You can let it out like a big sigh. And then just become aware of your body. It does so much for you. Your feet, your legs, your bum on the chair. Feel your back on the chair if you have one, or feel the clothes on your back. Just become aware of your shoulders and your neck and your face and your head. Is there any way that it feels like it needs to just relax, even the slightest little bit? And then let's just set an intention together for this time that we have. And you can just follow along with these words. I'm just going to read some words or say some words and just say them silently to yourself in your heart and change it if it doesn't feel right for you. Just change it to the words that feel right for you. So together we make the intention that the healing today will happen safely and easily. We also intend that only what's necessary for the healing today will come to the surface. And we make the intention that the healing benefit all the parts of us, all our friends and all our family and anyone else who would also like to benefit from this time together. And then take a nice deep breath in and out. Now, we're just going to do a quick exercise to help us contain all the difficult bits that are in the room today. So take a moment and imagine that there's a box on your lap, a really beautiful box. It can be any size, any shape, any material. And this is a magical box. It can contain everything that you don't want in your conscious awareness. So start putting into this box everything that is pulling at your awareness right now. Anything that's taking your attention away from right now, right here. It can be things about your day, before or ahead, things you need to go and do, something somebody said. Just put it all in there. And then also put into this box everything about the issue that you brought today. Just put it all in there. little pieces may sort of try and fly out and catch your attention, just put them into the box. Keep putting in all the pieces. And just check. Maybe there's one or two more that can go into this box for safekeeping. When it feels like it's all in there, you can close the box and know that this is a magical box. Nothing can escape until you decide to take it out. And then notice at the top there's a tiny opening. You can keep putting things into that box as you need to during this call and after the call. That magic opening only lets stuff in. It doesn't let anything out unless you choose. Then you can put this box somewhere safe in your imagination, like under your bed, under your chair, on a mountain if it's got too much stuff in it. And we're going to use this box again later on. Take another nice deep breath. In and out. And then for a moment, just appreciate yourself for being here, for showing up. It may have been difficult. You may have had challenges showing up here. Know that you're safe in this space. And one more nice deep breath. In and out. And then come back to the room when you're ready. And then when you open your eyes, just look around in your own room. Just notice 2 or 3 things that you see in your space. And notice 2 or 3 sounds that you can hear. Maybe it's just my voice, maybe it's scratching of a microphone somewhere, or a bird, or an animal, so that you're just fully back and present in this room. Great, great. Now we continue feeling fully here. So just a few logistics before we carry on with some tapping. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Liesl Teversham, and I've been an EFT practitioner for 16 years, and I was a trainer as well for a number of those. And I love EFT more and more every day. So if you're an EFT lover, you're in great company here with many EFT fans. So we're going to do some group tapping exercises today. And we're going to tap as much as possible for the uncomfortable things that we think and feel during difficult times. I may use tapping points that you're not familiar with, like I use the inner wrist point, and I'll also use the finger tapping points. If you're not familiar with them, just follow your own process. Use the points that you're familiar with, that feel comfortable for you, and you can also follow along with the points that I use. Make sure that you do what's right for you. So we're certainly not going to remove, unfortunately, the circumstances that bother you today, that brought you here today. But when we are calmer, we can think more clearly and we can find solutions that suit us. I've also found that others who come to tapping circles can find that they can work or they can be with and just more accepting and have a certain amount of more peace as they go through the difficult things. And then I have also seen circumstances shift as we do the tapping. So lots of it is possible, lots of healing and wonderful calmness and peace is possible through the tapping that we're going to do today. I just want a little show of hands in the room. Who knows tapping? So I just want to get a sense of the type of tapping. So good. Most people know tapping. And then thank you for those who can't switch their video on, and I'll say a word about that in a minute. Is there anybody here who does not know tapping yet? And I may need to say a few words about it. Doesn't look like it actually. Yeah? No? So everybody here knows tapping. That's absolutely wonderful. If there's somebody watching the recording and you don't know tapping yet, I'm going to just give you enough today to get you going. So we don't need to know the background, the history, how it all started, or how it works for us to benefit from it. So feel free to just follow along. And in a few minutes, I'm just going to say 1 or 2 words about EFT. So confidentiality. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable to share in the room today what you need to share so that we can work with that. You don't need to share lots of details about anything, but can I just have a show of hands for confidentiality? And what I mean about that is that while we share here, things may come out about some details or some how somebody is feeling. I want us to agree that we're not going to share somebody else's stuff with somebody outside of this room, so that whoever wants to share something feels comfortable with that in the room. So if you agree with that, just put up your hand, and we can all just feel really, really safe in this room. So thank you very much. I am scrupulous about helping you to feel safe. So of course, it's a group call, and for safety, decide what's right for you, what you want to share. If excuse me. If you find that you get an intense emotion, the best thing that you can keep doing is to keep tapping. You're welcome to leave and come back later or reach out to somebody else later. Take care of yourself in the way that you need to, but know that the tapping is the way that helps us most of all to move through the difficult emotions. So what I intend for today's call is for you to move to as much peace as possible from wherever you are now. Because when we are peaceful in ways we don't fully understand yet, the peace spreads beyond us. Other people can pick up on that peace, even to situations not in our control. So in a few moments, I'll ask you about why you are here and your intention for this call. If there's anybody who's listening to the recording, EFT that doesn't know EFT yet, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it was developed in the early 90s by an engineer of all people called Gary Craig, and he brought together a few different aspects on 3 different elements from different places, and he found that if you tap on these very specific places on your body, it has a calming effect on the brain, on the nervous system, on the mind. And when we're calmer, our brain can think clearer, so we can come up with better solutions and make better decisions for our problems. And that's what we're going to do today. Is we're just going to bring down the emotion about some of the challenges that we're experiencing, so that we can think better and calmer and make decisions that's good for us. Great. So your turn now to share. So our first exercise that I'd love you to be able to type in the chat box if you're able is your reason for being here. Just to say a few words about that. What issue do you want to feel calmer about? And like I said, share what's comfortable for you. Don't have to type a long story, as you know, this, takes time to type. So just a few short sentences, sort of a, family issue, or it's financial, or it's say as much detail as you're comfortable with. So that's number one, the reason for you being here. And number two is, what do you want to have, be, or feel when you walk away today? So I'll just leave a little space for you to type. And then if you're watching the recording, you're not here live, do the same at the moment in your journal or in a piece of paper. Just jot down what it is that you're here for. Why are you watching the recording? What did you sign up for? And what do you want to feel, have, or be at the end of our tapping call? Good. So get your thoughts together. It's very important, this first step. Just name, get real clarity about what it is that you want to heal from today. And I call it a healing, because so much in our nervous system and in our life and body can change when we go through this tapping. So I'm going to read out a few of the issues that are here. And like I mentioned before, I'm not that I want to be impersonal, but I want to protect the people who are live on the call. So I'm not going to say any names. Someone here says there's an anger issue. Another person healing from a few difficult years. Someone else getting hold of my daily schedule, procrastination. I want to feel less a sense of overwhelm at the end of the session. Okay, that's nice and clear. There's some health issues, hubby's health, financial issues. It would be nice to have more peace and therefore make better business decisions. Exactly. Our brain cannot make good decisions if we are clouded by all the strong emotions floating around in our brain and body. Someone else says, one of my kids is going through a difficult mental health struggle, and I would like to feel peaceful, hopeful, less confused, and more calm. Beautiful intentions, right? Someone says, I've had right wrist pain for the last 2 months, and I want to find the emotional connection. We'll do our best. We don't know what's possible today in this group, so let's set that intention. The scary state of the world, especially the US, also the ongoing stress of COVID, and I want to lighten fear and the sense of hopelessness. Okay, beautiful. Someone else says, I seem to lack any kind of willpower around food. I don't think you're the only one in that boat. After recovering from chemo, I eat too much sugary things, and I'd love to get back to a healthier diet, but I find it so difficult. Yeah, I'm sure so many of us can relate, and sorry for the very big challenge that you had, and here you are sitting and able to tap with us. So wonderful, wonderful progress. Someone else says, challenging things around us daily. Living in South Africa, we're confronted with plenty, and I know, being from South Africa. Then this before this call, I had my ATM card swallowed. I feel helpless and frustrated, angry, and it feels like that is indicative of how some of the other things, like load shedding in this country, feel. Out of control, helpless, angry, and frustrated. I hear that. That is so much, and you're in the right place here. Someone else says having enough peace so I can think, relief from some shock, healing to be able to be present for a family member, and calm so I can respond appropriately to a family member. Yes, beautiful intentions. I'd love to feel calmer, not guilty around the eating. I'd like to feel more peace, even more peace with the past. So there's some peace already, even more is good. I want to detach myself from other people's issues with love without getting drawn into it and letting it affect my peace. Yeah. And surrendering to the timing of things I would really like to have happen. I would like to feel trusting, hopeful, and surrendering to divine timing. That's beautiful. And someone else wants to feel calmer and maybe less angry. So you can hear if you are in a difficult place, you're not alone. There's a lot of difficult things in here, and we're going to help each other today work through this. So I'm just so grateful to be here with you. Okay, so I've got some nice tapping prepared for you. And before we jump into how we feel about all of this, if if some of this starts feeling overwhelming for you, just remember that you've got your box. You can put some of all of this, what you've heard, even other people's stuff, if it's too much for you, put it into that box of yours so that you only deal with one little bit at a time. That's how I want for you to experience this, not in overwhelm, but one little piece at a time. So first of all, we're going to do a little bit of tapping to help ourselves feel permission for gentleness and some other permission to let this healing process unfold in the right way for all of us. So I'm not going to go into an even though here. So just join me as we start tapping here. I'm going to give you some words. If it's too much to say after me, just take it in a way that's right for you. And here we go. So just say after me, or silently or out loud is good. I give myself permission to be easy and gentle with myself. I give myself permission to be easy and gentle with the fact that I'm struggling with this stuff. And I give myself permission to be easy and gentle with the fact that I might still be struggling with some of this. Some of you have done some work on it, and yes, we still sometimes struggle with something. So we can be gentle with ourselves. I give myself permission to be easy and gentle with the fact that I haven't worked on this issue sooner. Sometimes we can berate ourselves because we haven't done anything about it sooner, or that we are where we are now and we should have started sooner. So let's just be gentle with ourselves about that. I choose to remember this is a healing process and not a healing moment. I give myself permission to allow the process to unfold in a natural way. And I even give myself permission to heal without needing to know the reason why I am this way. I recognize that when I live in a new way, with a new belief, that I'm not being thoughtless, careless, or reckless if there's change as a result of it. I recognize the fact that this is a healing process and not an all or nothing process. I'm open to the possibility of total transformation while recognizing that it is a process. And I give myself permission to release any known, unknown, or hidden beliefs or stories that no longer serve me. Good. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. Whew. And you can also, I'm going to let you do this a couple times today. So just take a nice big stretch. Just let your body stretch out what you've just released. See some yawns already. And that's always a yay for me. When we start releasing some stuff, yawns, sighs. So notice all of that happen for you. Okay, so my next question for you is tuning in to your general stress level. We're going to make this, remember, we've got big things here, so we're going to just do this very gently. Tuning into your general stress level, not even the thing that you're here today for, just your general stress level. Just notice what you feel that to be in this moment on a scale of 0 to 10. So it could be 0, could be 10. I'm guessing if you're here, it's not a 0. And then just notice where in your body you feel the stress. How do you experience that? And type in the chat box for me your general stress level. So whether it's a 4 or a 3 or a 7 or an 8. And if you want to type one word about where you feel that in the body. Okay, so there's some big general stress levels as well. 7s and 6s. Look how many people feel it in the tummy. There's some jaw, neck, tightness in the chest and a hollow abdomen. Some 9, confusion in the head. Some 7, chest. Okay, shoulders, jaw, glutes. So all the places where we hold stress, right? When we are protecting ourselves, we come forward like this. We hunch over, shoulders stressed. We clench on our jaw. It's all the tight places that we hold. So let's work on that just for a moment, and then we're going to go into the issue of what you brought. So I'm just going to keep it really, really general for now, just tuning into everybody's. In fact, let me just open the chat, then I can name some of that. Okay, so let's just start tapping here in our usual regular EFT way. I've got a few places where I'm going to bring some unusual EFT as well. And for now, let's just do the usual way. So let's say, even though I feel stress about a lot of things in my life right now, and I feel it in my, then name your place, feel it in my stomach and my jaw and my glute muscles and my chest and my head. I soothe and comfort myself. Even though I feel so stressed and there's a lot that I'm carrying, I soothe and comfort myself. Even though I feel the stress in my head, my neck, my jaw, my tummy, name your place. And it's really affecting me in my daily life. I soothe and comfort myself. Okay, let's just do a round of tapping with all of this. So follow the points that's good for you or follow mine. All the stress that I notice in my body. All the stress that I notice in my stomach. The stress that I'm feeling in my jaw, clenching my jaw, tight muscles. All the tightness in my muscles from the stress. My glutes are tight, my legs are tight. All the things that I'm carrying that is impacting on my body. All the things that I'm so stressed about. Just releasing some of that stress right now. And you know, if you can't see my arm wrath, I'm tapping under the arm, the point under on the side of the body. Guess by now you would have figured it out. All the stress that I'm carrying. It's in my jaw. It's in my tummy. It's in my chest. It's in my shoulders. It's in my head. All these places that I feel the stress. Okay. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out like a sigh. And just notice again. Just glance at your number. Just notice if any of it has changed. Some of that stress could be because of the issue that you brought today, in which case maybe it didn't move a lot, maybe it has moved it. So just type your number for me and type there, you know, it went from 7 to 8 or 8 to 5 or just whatever the sort of movement is. So I just keep a tabs on how people are doing. Good. So I know somebody had a 9, now they've got an 8. There was a 7, now there's a 5, 7 to a 5, 7 to a 6. 6 to a 5, a 6 move to my chest. So there's movement in numbers. I want you to notice that. It could be a movement in number, or it could be a movement like it was here, now it's here, or I used to feel it here, now it's in my shoulder. So any movement is good. Yes. And somebody says it went from a 5 to a 6 because I'm now paying more attention. Exactly. We're all very skilled, and we have to be at keeping all those difficult things away from us when we do life. So we have to kind of keep it suppressed in order to get through life. But here in this space, we pay attention to it. I ask you to focus on it. So yes, it may go up a little bit, and we're going to bring it down as well. So now we're going to just move into the thing that I asked you to bring to the session. So even though it's uncomfortable, just think about that issue again that you have brought. And I'm going to make sure that we contain it as well a little bit. So it's not one massive, massive thing here in front of your door. I'm going to ask you to imagine that you can pick from that. Hopefully it's in the box at the moment. Pick from that box one single image that almost represents the thing, the issue that you want to work with today. One single image. Just, it could be a flash of an image of something that has happened or something that it feels like it's going to happen, or, you know, for people in South Africa, all the load shedding, you know, pictures of how things are in the dark or whatever is that image of just one image. So we make it as safe and contained as we possibly can. Picture speaks 1,000 words as well. Because in that one image, there can be lots of emotion, lots of aspects, lots of things contained in it. So we're going to use this image to do our tapping with. Is there anybody here Or just raise your hand if you've got an image that you can work with. Okay. If there's somebody who's not yet sure, okay, if you're not yet sure, thanks for the people putting up their hand then. I know what's going on for you. If you're not yet sure of an image, put your hand up for me because I want us to be all on the same page before we continue now. I don't want you to tap with the whole overwhelming thing. One image. Anybody without an image? No. Okay, looks good. Okay. So this is just a starting point and we're going to keep referring to this image as well. Again, look at that image in your mind's eye. Rate how intense you get when you look at that image and any emotion that you feel when you look at that image, and jot that down for me in the chat box. So how intense do you get about your image, and what emotion do you feel, or a place in your body that shows up? Okay. I'm just starting to look at the comments, the chats. So again, there's some big numbers here. So a number 8, fear, anger, tightness in the chest. A number 10 in the torso. A number 8, feeling powerless. A number 9, unacknowledged, horrible goosebumps in the skin. Number 10, frustration and anger. Number 9, sadness, grief, fear, anxiety in the throat, chest, and jaw. Despair, if something will ever change, at an 8. I see the person's face who hurt my family member and I want to knock them or punch them. Yes, yes. So there's quite a bit of anger and frustration. Can you start seeing some themes here? You're not alone if you're feeling those intense emotions. So let's do some work on this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to ask you to keep focusing on that image of yours. And I'm going to use some words that will help everybody to tap along with the same words. If it gets too intense, you can put that image far away into the distance, further away from you, because if it's intense, usually it's very close and it feels like it's right here or it's inside of you. Put the image far away. You can imagine putting it on a mountaintop or on the moon if you need to, just to bring it a little bit further away from you. So we're going to okay, I'm just going to mute this person. Welcome, welcome. I'm just muting everyone so that there's a good sound for the recording. Okay, so let's just do some tapping around this image. So start with me and do the tapping on the image that you've got in your mind right now. Again, moving it further away if it's too intense. So even though that's the image that I see, and I feel all these emotions when I see that image, I soothe and comfort myself. Even though that is the image that I see, and I feel all these emotions when I look at it, I soothe and comfort myself. Even though that's the image that I see, and I feel these intense emotions, I'm acknowledging it right now, and I soothe and comfort myself. And then we'll tap through the points. All these emotions that I feel, that image that I see, and maybe for you, you hear things in that picture as well. So I'm going to just include that, all the sounds in that picture. All the aspects in that picture. All the pieces in that picture. All the things in that picture that I can't control. All the things in that picture that I can't change. All the things in that picture that might feel like doom and gloom. All the pieces in that picture that make me feel these emotions. So many pieces in that picture. All the people in that picture. All the happenings, the events, things that happened in that picture. All the things that I imagine might happen in that picture. We'll just keep on tapping. And I'm releasing some of that now. All the bits in that picture. All the emotions that come up as I notice it in my mind's eye. Letting some of that go. And I wanted just to say something, just continue tapping. There are people here who are angry with somebody and I want to call it righteous anger. Things that are not right, or things that have happened that are not right. By me saying I'm releasing some of it now, you don't have to release it right now. Just what's right for you. Some of us can release some of it, some not yet, and just what's right for you. So if the words, if it doesn't feel right yet to say that, that's 100% okay. That picture and everything it means. That picture. And everything it means in my life, in my family's life, in whoever's life this affects. All of it, all the emotions. I'm acknowledging it right now. This is what's going on for me. Okay, and let's pause there. So rest your arms, take a nice deep breath in and out. And make a big stretch. Just let your body stretch out. Some of it you can move around really like you want to just help your body release whatever it wants to. Change position. Have some water. And then check your picture again. So just notice what it looks like now. Has it changed in any way? Does the picture look the same? Is it the same brightness? Is it the same distance from you? Has something in the picture changed? So just notice any change and put again in the chat box. Just put your number for me now. If you look at that picture now, what's your intensity now? And then what are the changes that you've noticed? Good. There's something that comes up so often, and I'm so happy to see it here already. Somebody says the picture looks blurrier. Good. Beautiful. That is awesome. That is awesome. So another comment is, I feel calmer. I'm a 6 now. I think it was at a 9 or something like that. And the person in the picture is now smiling. So that's different, I imagine, than before. It's become more dim, like it's less powerful. Yes, so awesome. A bit more hopeful. The picture is a bit softer. It's faded some, down from an 8 to a 6. Yes. Someone else says I'm totally detached from it. I can look at it without any emotion and I feel blasé about it. That is remarkable. It was a 5 now, it was a 9 now, it's a 5, and the picture is brighter. That's interesting because often it gets blurrier as we process through it, but maybe it's a happier picture that's brighter. I'm not sure, but well done. Any change like this is wonderful. There's something now, the cupboard door is closed now, so 4.5. Wonderful. Excuse me. You can hear I've got a bit of frog in my voice and I've got some honey and lemon water here. So let's see if that does the trick. So there's another comment. I told somebody that I feel like knocking this person out, and this time we laughed about it together. The tension was eased. That is wonderful, wonderful news. So as some of those layers of tension start moving, more possibilities and options show up for us about how we can possibly handle it. So well done. I want you to look at that picture again. And we may have mentioned some of the emotions, but some of you emotions have changed. So just look at it again and notice what emotion you feel now when you look at it and what the intensity is of that emotion. Maybe you've got a different emotion now. Sometimes we feel anger in the beginning and then we start feeling sadness. Or we did feel some hurt and betrayal and then we start feeling the anger. So notice what maybe you've got a different emotion now. Maybe it's the same emotion. Just drop that emotion for me that you're feeling now or what it has changed to. Put that in the chat box. And again, if you can maybe put your number there, because I just want to see how big the numbers are. And then we're going to do another round of tapping. So that's great. Anger changed to sadness. Not that it's great, but great that there's a change. Somebody says relief. Someone else says impatience now. There's now compassion and sadness. Good, a 9 to a 7. There's a more hopeful, some relief. A 7 to a 2. That's jolly big change. That's beautiful. Some melancholy, still helpless, but less anger. Okay, so there's an emotion there called helpless. It's not technically an emotion, but it's something we can tap with. There's some fatigue, resignation. I feel a loss and I feel tension. Okay, so there's some things there that we're still gonna move right through now. So just focus on that piece for yourself. And I'm gonna again just use words like this that can help everybody to connect with it. So let's see. Let's start there again. So connect with your own bit that you are feeling right now. Just notice where it is in your body. And for those watching the recording, please do the same. What are you noticing now? And let's use this tapping round for that. If your picture is so resolved that it feels like there's nothing left to tap for, I encourage you to pick another picture. Make another picture and use that one so that you can get some more meaning here. Okay, so even though this is how I'm feeling now, I'm feeling helpless. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling tension, resignation, melancholy. I soothe and comfort myself. Even though this is how I'm feeling about that picture right now. I'm feeling angry, sad, name your emotion, helpless, resigned. This will never change. Fatigue, resignation, relief. I soothe and comfort myself. And let's go to the tapping point. So this is the way I'm feeling now. And I'm just acknowledging that. It's okay for me to feel this way. I'm allowed to feel this. This is my feeling. And it's totally okay for me to feel it. All these feelings and emotions and sensations are welcome here. All of it is mine. And I'm allowed to feel it. And tapping on the fingers. All this impatience, anger, sadness, compassion for myself, some hope, still some melancholy. I'm still feeling helpless. Maybe there's still some anger left. Or I'm just tired about it. Just tired and fatigued about this whole thing. I'm feeling resigned. Or I'm feeling the loss about the whole thing. There's some loss, maybe. And I'm still feeling some tension in my body, brain, mind, insides. All of it's what I'm feeling. My feelings, and I'm allowed to feel. And then just rest your arms, take a nice deep breath in. Let out like a big sigh. Good. And then just look at your picture again. Just notice what you notice now. Has the picture changed? What's happened to it? What do you sense and feel and experience now when you look at that original picture? And then again, just type it for me in the chat box. You can maybe start with where your number was in the beginning, and then it's what it is now, what your emotion was, what it is now. Good. It's even further away, someone says. Feeling calmer. Very good. More detached and removed. Beautiful. It's like it's disintegrating, went to a 9, to a 5, to a 3. That's such good progress. Well done. It's more like a background picture now. And isn't that wonderful? Like it riled me up so much, and now I'm totally bored with it. That is great. Totally detached. Yes. So now we can look at the issue and we can go, yeah, that's an issue, but now it no longer has that same effect. Absolutely wonderful. Well done. From resignation to somewhat calmer, and the image is fainter. Absolutely great. 8 to a 5, there's less frustration, but it's not completely gone yet. And that's also totally normal because there may be so many aspects to this. We can only work with a small piece of it as we are together here in a group call. So the progress that you've made is absolutely wonderful. From some group tapping where I wasn't even able to help you specifically narrow down what are some of the things. Someone says my picture has changed totally from the ATM with legs. So ATM is the automatic teller machine if it's not a term you use in your country. So that it legs that it was, which went dim. So maybe went away. Now it's Africa. It's colorful, yet it makes me feel sad. Yes. Yeah. I think there's some sad things in Africa too, and I can join you in tapping for that. So I want to check. Beautiful progress. Wonderful. Thank you so much for typing your feedback. The last one, it changed the picture to a body image. I don't feel like I have to beat him up. The body has faded and I can feel like I'm able to breathe deeper. Who else has felt that? Like their breathing has maybe slowed down or changed, or it's just more able to have a nice deep breath. Yes, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, thank you for the hand up as well. Yes, when the breathing slows down, our brain can think, we can just get into a more resourceful place. So well done. I want to know if there's anybody here still with some fear, worry, anxiety. How's this going to work out in future? Because I don't know whether your situation is from the past or, whether there's some, we call it predictions into the future, right? There's some things that we are afraid might happen in the future. So check for me whether there's any of that for you. It's like, yes, this picture is now faded, but what will happen in the future? Is there any fear, worry, anxiety, like sort of predictions? This thing happens, so that means X, Y, Z. This is right. So someone says there's still anxiety about what if anything will change. Exactly. So is this going to just stay the same, or what is this now? So still anxiety for the future. Somebody else says yes. So we're going to do some of, yeah, so look at that new wave of fear when I think about the future. Yeah, there's a feeling of, will it get worse? When will it get better? Will it ever get better? I am so totally with you. I've had some health issues that just sometimes feel like it will never, ever, ever, ever end. When we're in it and it's not changing for the better, it can just feel endless. So I'm so with you there. And I'm through some of them now, so I can stand at the other end and go, whoa, look at how it did change. So I want to just offer you that little bit of hope. Things can change. Let's do some tapping now for the sphere of the future that may be here for you. Now is when I'm going to use some little bit less traditional tapping. If you're a client, you will know this type of tapping that I use is called intention tapping or IEP. And there we don't even have to keep saying words on the different points. So how are we going to do this now? I'm going to give you a little sentence to say. You're going to repeat the sentence as you tap with me. Then we're going to just keep on tapping in silence and just let it work itself through. You may notice then some new thoughts pop up or another image pop up for you or a sensation come up in your body. So in that case, just drop for me in the chat box what comes up for you and we'll work with the next layer. So here are the words that you're going to say. So start tapping with me and just say this. I release all my emotional attachments to all my predictions and projections about how bad this is going to get. So I've already had a little sigh. Just notice for yourself what happens and then just keep tapping through the points. You don't have to say the sentence again. It's already done its work. So just keep tapping through the points. Notice what you notice. New thoughts, new emotion. Okay. So now type in the chat box for me what you've noticed. Maybe nothing, and that's okay. If there's something that pops up for you, like a new image or a new thought or another yes, but this is whatever it is for you, just let me know in the chat box and we'll take it one step further. And I'm just going to keep tapping on everybody's behalf. So let this just work itself through. Somebody says there was a big nope about the statement. Right. Like as in, no, I'm not letting that go. Something like that. I feel so rolling on. Right. Yeah. As in letting go, that go is not safe. And that often comes up. So what I want to explain, maybe just ever so briefly, because there's a whole science and method behind this method of tapping, is we're not letting go. Um, let me just explain this another way. We're letting go of the emotional attachment to it, not the thing itself or not that it's going to happen. But when we have a strong emotional attachment, like something is going to happen, it's that emotional attachment. Is like Byron Katie talks about emotional attachments, and it's that keeps us hooked into it. So all we're doing is we're asking it's in fact our unconscious mind, the part of us that's bigger than us, like our soul, our the higher self, the part of us that knows why we're here and what's good for us. We're asking that part of us to help us release it. And for those who feel unsafe to let it go, I completely understand it. So let's work on this because maybe there's more than one in the room feeling like that. So just say this. I restore, so words slightly different. I restore the right energy flow to the part of me that feels unsafe to let this go. Whew. I sigh and yawn, or I get these little sighs when I release something. So just notice what it is like for you. Good. I see some yawns. It's so good. Good. Right. Okay. And there's somebody just before we started doing the second round, somebody who said the idea came that I may get ill again. Yeah. Yeah. So let's do a little bit of work on that because for some people here, there may be some similar things floating around. So say, I release all my emotional attachments to this may happen again. In fact, I could say it slightly differently. So let's just do that again and say, I release all my emotional attachments to the projection that this could happen again. Because our projections are just what our subconscious mind does to help keep us safe. It's there for a very good reason. So we're not arguing with it, we're not fighting it. We know that it's trying to keep us safe and to serve us. And the fact is, most of the projections don't happen. So here we are sitting and living in fear. It may or may not happen. And we can't think because the attachment or the hook to that thought is so strong. Okay. So let's just take a little pause. So rest your arms, take a nice deep breath in and out. And again, you can do a nice little stretch. We've been doing lots of tapping. I've seen beautiful yawns, releases, faces change, smiles. Okay, and just check for yourself what's happening. What do you notice right now? We've moved through a lot of layers. I haven't asked for feedback. What is present for you right now? What's your thought? What's happening in your body? What's your emotion? Just let me know. Good. So there's a feeling less tense, calmer, calmer, calmer and less fear. Very good. More peaceful. I'm so over this issue. It's not even mine anymore. That is so gorgeous to hear. Yes. So over this issue. I want all of us to be just so over our issue. And sometimes it arrives in layers. So beautiful. Right. Okay, good. The statement, I release all my emotional attachments to the projection that something is much more accessible. Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly how the projection works, right? So yeah, we can really release our emotional attachments to the projection that XYZ is going to happen. Good. I'm glad it was helpful. So somebody here says a comment about projections or behaviors that are our bodies or psyches trying to protect us. Coping mechanisms were very helpful. I'm glad about that. And that's exactly what is happening under the surface so often when we're reluctant to step into something, we procrastinate, or we call it self-sabotage, we call it all sorts of names. It's just a part of us that's trying to protect us, and we can honor that part for trying to do that for us and not boot it out because booting doesn't work. It gets more and more like a 2-year-old that shouts louder and louder. So we need to listen. And someone says the thought surfaced that it's possible something good come out of it for my family members. That is remarkable. What a different place. Yes. Now the brain can start letting in other possibilities. But when we close down by the fear and the anger and the hurt and the betrayal and all those things, the brain is not able to think any thoughts in those directions. So beautiful work. This is fantastic. Somebody is just so over the issue, it's not even theirs anymore. And somebody is like, well, maybe something good can come from this. So amazing, amazing. Um, just check in now in with your original picture. Just notice what you notice now. If you're able to actually even connect with it, does it look the same? Has it changed? What's going on in that original picture? Somebody just, you in fact, said something about it. So everybody just check in with your picture. Um, let me know what's in that picture now, and then we'll do our uh, next round. So someone says the person in my image has stood up and is stretching with us. That is beautiful. Yay. That feels like a stretch. It's such a relieving thing, isn't it? It's like stress is over. I can relax. My body can stretch instead of being tight and clenched and in a tense position. Okay. So someone says the picture is very faint. There's a location now, but without any people in it. That is wonderful. Wonderful. Um, and someone says, I don't even focus on that cupboard anymore. That is great. It's almost like what I've experienced in the past is like I try and think of the thing, but then it's like my mind just does a U-turn. It's like it goes there, but it just comes back because it's almost like it's irrelevant, or it feels like I can't think about that anymore. It's just gone. It's like a non-issue. So there's some of that in the room, which is just jolly awesome. Okay. So it feels to me like maybe the pictures in the room are done enough. So now you focused on a picture that represents your whole issue. Bring to mind, you can scroll up if you want to. Just scroll up in the feed and just go, if you can, of course, if you're on a computer, you should be able to do that easily. Remind yourself of your original issue, the whole thing, why you came. And notice if there's anything left in there. So just think of the whole issue that you brought. Jot down for me how intense you are now with any, we call it a difficult emotion. I don't want to call it a negative emotion. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. Just look at the whole thing. What do you notice about it right now? And just let me know. I just want to see if we need to do a little bit more tapping. What is left about it? Someone else says, I have a new picture. The person's head I'm cradling in my lap versus punching them. That is a very, very, very big difference. It's almost like there's more compassion for that person instead of the anger. And that is remarkable. Well done. And there's just the eye roll. I love the eye roll, right? It's like so irrelevant. Okay. I wanted to punch them too, and now I'm just like eye roll. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful work. Okay. Anything else about your original big issue? You arrived with one big issue, and there was many, many, many lots of things inside of that issue. May not all be gone. So let's just check if there's another little piece that we can work with now. Just drop that for me in the chat box. Somebody says, I'm calmer, more hopeful that I can meet my issues with greater understanding and patience with myself. That is a beautiful, beautiful bit of progress right there. I feel like laughing about my inner little girl wanting to do what she likes after so much hardship. I love that. Yes. There's someone who says there's connections between current issues and emotions and past issues and emotions, the themes of them in my life. Okay, so I'm hoping that for some of you, you can also see those. It's like little threads. We all have like these threads that run through our lives with similar things, similar patterns. And it's so useful when we can find these threads and tap them down and work through those pictures, because it's the pictures that represent all those different things. Good. So I feel open to the possibility that there could be other outcomes in the future. Oh my word, that is huge. That is just so big. I feel more hopeful for the future. I can see the issue from a broader perspective. My word, fantastic. It's more manageable. And I know for a person here, they wanted to maybe discover the emotional contributors to uh, a wrist issue. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe it needs a little bit of private tapping, but it's more manageable is already a fantastic thing. Went from a 9 to a 4. It's now doable. I don't know how yet, but it's a possible possibility. And that is the starting point of things to change. We can't even begin to move in other directions if it feels so closed and impossible, and things will never change. So well done. There's just been remarkable things here that shifted today. So let's do a little bit of tapping on what I call choices. Put for me in the chat box what you would love to feel. So I've heard already, so I am feeling a bit more hopeful. Maybe there's different possibilities. So put a word or two for me in the chat box, and then we're going to do some choices tapping with bringing that into your experiences, into your patterns, whatever it is that you are working with today. How would you like to feel, be? What would you like to have? How would you like to see this? How would you like to go through the rest of the experience? And let's do some choices tapping. Good. So I'd like to feel more confident in my decisions in this situation. Good. I'd like to feel optimistic and positive. Beautiful. I'd love to enjoy all the great things that life brings. Yes, because there is so much, but when we're in a difficult spot, we can't see those things. Right? A miracle would be wonderful. I fully agree with you. I see lots of spaces and opportunities for miracles in this life, and we could tap for miracles too. I'd like to feel more confident, and I would like to see progress and consistency. Okay, so there's quite a couple of things. There's some overlaps here. Lots of people say more confident. Some miracles would be lovely. I would love to stay more in a problem solving place than rather than a reactive place. Yes, yes, that's right. And when we're in a calmer space, much more of that is possible. When we're in a reactive space, we can't, we just simply, our nervous system is not made. Our nervous system was made when we are triggered to go fight or flight, danger here. I need to get away, or I need to react instantly. And it does not give us the chance to think through things logically to say, right, what am I going to do in this situation? No, it reacts before you can think. So it's just normal for us to be in that reactive space when there's a trigger that has not been calmed yet with some form of healing like tapping, or there's some other ways as well. Yes, exactly what she wrote, to stay more in a problem solving place rather than reactive. Okay, so I'm going to use all of this, what you've brought, and so I'm going to be scrolling. Okay, so let's do this and start over here again and say, even though I brought this huge big issue today, and it may not all be gone, there may be some remnants left, and that's okay. Rome was not built in a day. I choose to feel open to the possibility that there could be other outcomes in the future. Even though I brought this very big issue today, and it may be like an octopus with many legs, and we worked with some of the legs today, and it's okay that not all of them are gone. I'm open to the possibility that there are some different options here for me now that I can see. Some different ways of responding, open to solutions, and even some miracles. Good. And let's tap through all the points with all the choices. I choose to be open to the possibility other options in the future are possible. I choose to feel more confidence in my decision making in this situation. I choose to feel more positive. I choose to feel optimistic. Maybe something here can work out in my favor. I wonder if that might be possible. I choose to enjoy the great things that life brings, even through the difficulties. I choose to find some miracles in everyday life, and I choose to believe that miracles could be possible even for me. I choose to feel more confident as I pull my shoulders back. I choose to see the progress and consistency. And I choose to believe that it's possible for me to stay in a problem solving place rather than the reactive place. I choose to feel that I and my family members have options too. Options of healing. And I'll include family members, friends, whoever was in your original picture, whoever the situation is about. I choose to believe that they also have options for healing. And I choose to believe that the healing that I did today will spread out to my close people, will spread out and have ripple effects to the people in my life, to those I care about, and even to those who are causing the difficulty. Maybe there's a way that some of those people can also benefit from this healing. And I wonder if there's a way that I can hold on to the possibility that things can change even for them, even if I have no idea how that's going to happen. I choose to believe that healing is possible for everybody, including me and my loved ones. Good. And just rest your arms. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And again, if you want to do a nice stretch, just stretch it out. Let your body just know that it can relax and let go of some of the pieces. Good. Good. And one last time, I'll ask you to use the chat box. So just drop in the chat for me. So just notice first what is present for you. What are your thoughts, your sensations in your body, your emotions? And just put that in the chat box. tired, very tired. Oh, yes, yes. I know for many of you, it's right at the end of your day as well, so that can have a contributing effect. And when we let go of some big emotional baggage, I have experienced often how we can feel tired. It's like a letting go, and like the body says, "Oh, I can put that heavy suitcase down now, and I can relax." So I hope you will have a good rest. Okay. So I feel like choosing to believe healing is possible with others is healing for me. It brings optimism. Beautiful. Glad to hear that. Much calmer with a little bit of anxiety. That is so beautiful to hear. Not beautiful about the anxiety, but I know you know tapping, so you can continue. Here's the thing, we can always use this recording to tap again. You can bring your issue again to the recording and tap with the recording. I've done that so many times with my own issues. Not easy to tap by ourselves when you're in a difficult spot. So I use a recording of somebody else's group and then I tap along, so you have that too. I feel very calm. I would like to bring this calm to all the issues in my life. So now, just listen to the recording, bring your other issue and tap in the same way. So great, great work. A feeling of hope and a nap sounds good too. Yay! I'm feeling calm and I will have a good night's sleep. Beautiful. Calmness, acceptance, gratitude for the larger experience, despite the pain it has brought. That's a very healed space to be in. That's so beautiful. Calm and a pleasant heaviness. Right. Awesome. So we're going to start finishing off now. I always ask, would you be willing, please, to just fill in the feedback form for me when it comes to your inbox in a few minutes, just after our recording is finished. It helps me to know what works and what will work better next time, so we can make even more progress and make sure that we give you the best of EFT and of each other here in the session. So please fill in the feedback form for me. And then I will have the recording in your inbox within the next day or so. And I think that's that. I would just want to say thank you so, so much for tapping with us, for being such beautiful, active participants. You were all just so gorgeous and
You were
participating.
all just so gorgeous
Um,
and participating.
where is it? I'm just muting for a seckie and I'll give everybody a chance to unmute in a minute. Just for the recording sake. So thank you for your presence here, for tapping with us in such beautiful, active ways. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate all that you brought and your courage and helping all of us to heal with what you shared and the way that you tapped. Thank you very, very much. And I will see you soon.